So you guys have been learning a lot about measuring lately in math lessons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have we been using centimeters or inches?
Centimeters.
Centimeters. So you guys learned about inches last year in your first grade classes, right?
Yes.
So when we use a ruler, you can either use this side that has inches on it, and then what you guys have been using recently is this side that has centimeters on it. Who can tell me what is smaller, centimeters or inches?
Centimeters.
Centimeters. Centimeters are smaller. So if we were trying to measure something that was a little bit smaller, we would use centimeter side because it gives us a better estimation of how long it's going to be. And if you wanted to measure something a little bit bigger, you would use the inches side because it has bigger units. And then if I wanted to measure something really big, I would use the whole ruler. And do any of you know what the whole ruler is called? Kira? I forgot. Paula?
1 foot.
A foot, yeah. So this whole thing is called a foot. And the reason that we call it a foot is because in old times, people didn't have rulers to measure with, so they would use their body parts. So for instance, if you hold up your thumb like this, hold it up. If you go from here to here, this is about an inch, and so they would use this to measure an inch. And if you look at your thumb this way from here to here, that's about a centimeter, and so they would measure this way to find a centimeter. And can any of you guess what would be a foot, what you would measure a foot with?
With a ruler.
But they didn't have rulers, so what about like a body part? What body part could you use?
With your foot.
With a foot, yeah. So it's pretty self-explanatory because that's why they call it a foot. And even though we don't use our feet to measure anymore, the term kind of stuck. So we still call 12 inches a foot. So for instance, if I wanted to measure this whole whiteboard, I would use a foot because it gives me a better perspective of how long it's going to be. And if I use inches, it would take me a lot longer. So we're going to use the information that we're getting today. And my hope is that by the end of the lesson, you guys are going to be able to distinguish between measuring something, and I'm going to teach you about estimating how long something is. And you're also going to be able to use a ruler to measure square and rectangle objects around the room. So measuring is kind of using a ruler and using the units on a ruler to actually find the length of something. And standard units of measure is what inches and centimeters are called. And if I didn't have a ruler with me, there's also another way that I could try to guess how long something was by estimating it. Have you guys heard the term estimating before? Not really?
Yeah.
So estimating is kind of like measuring, but if you didn't have a tool to measure with you, you could look at something and guess how long it was. So if I have this, it's 12 inches long, right? And then if I hold up this board right here, this looks like it's about 12 inches long too, right? Because if you put them next to each other, they're about the same length. So if I had this and I didn't have a ruler and I knew how long something was if you measured it, I could estimate that this is about 12 inches long. And so if you use estimation, that can be kind of helpful if you don't have a tool to measure with. Can any of you guys tell me some other things that might be the length of a ruler that you use in the classroom? Can any of you guys think of anything else? Paula?
Maybe like a piece of paper.
A piece of paper, yeah. I mean, what do you think, Michael?
Just that right there.
Right there, yeah, it's kind of close.
That's a pointing at the.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think a
A pencil maybe?
What?
Yeah, so we could use this and you can see like books or boxes or certain things around. What do you think?
Our name tag.
Our name tag, yeah, that would probably be perfect. So that's kind of how you estimate. And another thing that you could estimate is the food that you're eating. And I know that you guys all like chocolate, so I brought some chocolate to measure. And if I was going to look at this and I hold up my ruler kind of next to it, how long do you think this might be in inches? How many inches do you think it might be? Do you have an idea? No? Andrew? What do you think?
This one?
Yeah, get that one.
6.
6? So if I hold it up to here, I can see it's 7. So he was really close. So that's how you use estimation. And if I have this little one, what might this one be? Jarrett?
5.
5? Anyone else? Kira?
Like maybe 2.
Maybe 2? So if we hold it up, it's 3. So see, if you kind of know how to estimate something, you can find the measurement of something.
I thought it was 3 also.
Yeah.
I thought it was the small one was 3.
Yeah. So if your friend told you, I have a chocolate bar that's about 7 inches and I have a chocolate bar that's about 2 inches, you would want to know which one is which so that you could get the bigger chocolate bar, right? Yeah.